Hey YouTube, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a great Tuesday trading today. Market did really well today. Kind of wanted to talk about two stocks today, them being Netflix here and then Microsoft, which I'll talk about next. But big news for Netflix today. They're up 6.5%, but basically they raised their prices again for their monthly video streaming subscriptions. So, each of these rate hikes, they pretty much between 13 and 18% higher. So, not too crazy if you think about it. But investors really love that because Netflix clearly sees that demand is still going to be there if they raise their prices. So kind of going into the prices themselves. So their cheapest plan right now was $8. So now that's going to be $9. So then you got the HD plan, which currently costs $13. It costs $11, and now it's going to cost $13. And then they got the 4K premium plan that costs $14 and will now be $16. So I don't even know they had a 4K premium plan. I'm sure, like me and probably most of you, probably sharing a Netflix account across, a various amount of users. So, I don't think this price change is really going to do much. And, it was bound to happen. I feel that, these monthly prices, you're getting so much content. Netflix is investing so much in content, and you're getting a lot of good content and it's still 5-6 times cheaper than what you'd be getting it for cable. Netflix still has room to grow, and even if they just increase their prices, certain amount every, or I don't know how much they do it, 2 or 3 years, maybe more, then they're gonna make some really good money because they know people are still going to be watching Netflix. It's still a great alternative to cable. But obviously the thing in the future Netflix is going to start looking at is all the new competitors that are coming out with their streaming services, the most notable being Disney, especially after they acquired Fox Studios a couple months ago. But then you got like Time Warner's coming out with something with AT&T now. So, there's going to be increased competition for Netflix, in addition to Prime Video and Hulu out there right now. So, they're raising prices, but, demand is there. They still got a big growth story internationally. You can kind of see their weak performance here, over 11%, 33% for the month, but, touched down near $230 on Christmas Eve. So if you bought in back then, you'd be pretty happy now. So, but yeah, kind of their story internationally is still expanding. They're creating original content. I mentioned this in previous videos for countries like India and, big growth markets in the future for them. And, I think they're going to continue doing well. So I'm really glad, Netflix is one of those FANG stocks people always talk about. And obviously it got hit pretty hard during this little bear market correction, whatever you want to call it, we had. Who knows if we're still out of it, but if you believe in this company in the long term, go for it, because they're plowing a lot of money into original content, and they see that as a good reason to keep increasing prices because people are going to pay for that content. So Netflix did really well today, helping bring up a couple other stocks as well, but Microsoft kind of has its own news as well, which I wanted to look at. So Microsoft jumped today almost 3% on news data. So they're basically partnering with Walgreens on a 7-year partnership. So Microsoft's going to be providing all of Walgreens cloud. They're going to move everything, their IT warehouse into the cloud, and Microsoft's going to be the one that hosts that on their Azure platform, as well as their all their Office 365 apps. So Microsoft and Walgreens partnering together. So obviously Walgreens is putting in bigger emphasis on health-related services, especially with Amazon trying to do more in health, and also little retail stores like Walgreens and CVS. They're kind of scared, so they want to try to think about this a little differently. So they're mitigating all their health services, kind of everything they do. I'm not too familiar with exactly what they do. But basically all those health services they provide to customers are now Microsoft's going to be hosting all that. So they inked I know a deal a week or two ago with the U.S. government as well to do the same thing. Kind of use the Azure cloud, Azure. I don't know how people say it, but they've got some good momentum going for them. They've kind of stuck around this 105, level for a while. I feel like you can see it's still up, the last year, but it's been around that 100 range since last July. So kind of here a while. Hopefully, it's due for a breakout. One of those really, I want to say undervalued stocks in tech. People always talk about the Amazons and the Netflix and the Googles, but Microsoft's a great holding long term. Clearly, they're putting a bigger emphasis on the cloud. Obviously services and all that kind of stuff. So, a great stock, pays a dividend. I think if it's a no-brainer to buy if it dips back under 100. So, maybe put in a limit order or whatever you guys decide to do with this one. But let me know if anyone owns Microsoft. Then, if you're planning on continuing to hold it or what your mindset is. But, that's kind of the market today. And, kind of brought up everything else. You guys kind of see S&P up over 1%, Dow Jones up, the NASDAQ up almost 2%. So, big video on NASDAQ stock specifically. So you can see Amazon, up as well on the news. Google up. So all these tech stocks did really well today. Netflix had good news, Microsoft had good news, and I think a big part of that is a lot of these companies are relying more on service revenue. Kind of look at Apple. They're trying to move away from hardware into their services business. Amazon not too long ago, they hiked their Amazon Prime subscription membership from, what was it, $99 to $119. And, they said that didn't have an effect, and, they're making more money because of it. Costco, I want to say, they increased their monthly membership from 55 to 60 a couple months ago. So, a lot of these companies are starting to do that a lot. And I think that's kind of the next big growth story in a lot of these different industries. If you're looking at an Apple or a Microsoft, like this is kind of where they're getting in their future revenue from. So it's going to be an increasing part of their profit. So, that's kind of it. Quick updates. NASDAQ did really well. Wheat stocks was my only loser today. So kind of, did pretty well until midday, and then it kind of dropped, and you guys can kind of see Canopy and Afria, all those, kind of the same case. Didn't read too much into it, but, as in, I'm not sure what happened. So, wheat stocks are still going to be there. Great ETF to own. I'm an MJ if you're interested. But yeah, Canopy went down as well. Thought it was kind of weird. But, everything else, tech did really well today. Kind of some discretionary did pretty well too. But, Netflix and Microsoft, big gainers today. Hopefully they can keep the growth going. So, quick NASDAQ update video. Good to see a green day in the markets. My week's been kind of choppy, but still up and almost breaking even on the month. So, trying to get out of this whole bear market, and earnings are coming up next couple weeks. A lot of companies reporting, especially in tech. So we'll see if that buoys the market a little higher or lower. We'll see what happens. Other news other than that today, there was a Brexit vote. They said basically no to it. So I'm not too familiar with the UK's parliamentary system, but now it goes to another round or a general election, I believe, or something like that. So, the Brexit fears still loom out there. The government shutdown, I think it's in, the 25th or 26th day now. So government shutdown is still on. The trade war with China is obviously the biggest looming kind of warning, threat, whatever you want to call it, to the market for the last year. So that's still up there. So, big big next couple of months really might set the tone for the rest of the year, in my opinion. So January, February, and March, obviously all those tariffs, an additional tariff kick in March 1st if they don't agree to a deal. So, a lot of stuff going on, but still sitting on a little cash and trying to sell some winners and just keep accumulating profit. So yeah, so hope everyone enjoy the video today. Thanks for watching. Hope the rest of the week goes well for you guys, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.